Welcome back to the channel. Today is part one of the assembly of the 445 cubic inch FE Ford engine. We'll be installing the camshaft, the rear main oil seal, and the crankshaft in that order. This is how I like to do it. You may like to do it a different way, and that's great. Everybody has their own way of assembling these engines. I'm just going to show you how I do it. What we're looking at here are the freeze plugs or core plugs. What was installed in this block were 1 3/4 inch core plugs. That's not the correct size, but what I've found with brass is that the 1 3/4 with a proper amount of sealant, just a little bit, will seal fine. What you run into with steel plugs is that 1 3/4 core plug can sometimes leak. The correct size for the core plug should be 1 49/64. Really oddball one to find. Hard to find. That's why most machinists put in 1 3/4 like was done here. Ideally, that 1 49/64 freeze plug should be used, but you can get away with a brass 1 3/4 with some sealant. These are standard Fel-Pro rear main oil seals. And then the standard, also Fel-Pro, side seals and nails. Some guys just like to fill a cavity on the side with RTV or Right Stuff. I'm not a fan of that. The first step is the installation of the top seal, which goes into the block. Got to orient it the correct way. With this side pointing in towards the crankshaft. It'll go in just like this. For now, it's going to be dry. And I like to leave about 1/4 inch sticking up on either side of the block. Then what I do on the main cap is I'll line it up, check which side has the 1/4 inch, roughly 1/4 inch sticking up out of the block. I'll roll it over, make sure I have the seal facing the right way, and I'll lay this one in so it's exactly opposite. Next step, I'll install the main bearings into the block. There's a tab in the block and on the bearing. Simple as that. Fit the tab in the slot and you're good to go. At this point, I'll put a little bit of oil on the seal. The camshaft that we chose is from Howard's. It's not a real radical grind. A 560 lift, 286 on the intake, 292 on the exhaust, and 50, 234.6, and 240.6 on the exhaust. Should be just a nice low to mid-range power street cam for this engine. Should make excellent torque and be a lot of fun to drive. Here we have the cam, it's ready to install. You'll be noticing I'm putting it in before I put the crankshaft in. I like to do it because I can reach down and hold the cam and guide it through as it goes through the block. Try to minimize the risk of nicking any camshaft bearings as I install the camshaft. I'll also put a bolt through the end of it to help me guide it as I go through them. Next is the installation of the crankshaft. It's a 4 1/4 stroke crankshaft, which gives us our 451 cubic inches. Just like in the engine block, there's little tabs in the main caps, along with tabs on the bearing. Just meet them up and you're good. This is cap number 1. There's the arrow, faces this way. Also, if you wouldn't have that, you want to line up the tabs. Tab is here and tab is there. And I'm just going to set it on. Just screw the main bolts in just a little bit. I like to use just a little bit of oil on the threads so that everything goes together nice and smooth. And since I did use oil, I will take it to the furthest torque setting as original manufacturers suggest. What I like to do is run them in and down a few times to get the oil spread through the threads. What I like to do is take a little bit of RTV and run it from the edge of the seal to the wall on both sides. Now I'll also take RTV, just a thin coat to spread along that wall. Then I'll put a little drop of oil on the rear main oil seal. I put some RTV, again, very thin on the sides there, set that in there like that. Now I'm going to take my side seals. It's very important that they go in like this. You'll see it, there's only really one way to go. I like to start them right like that before I push the cap down and in. Pull it out a little more. Sometimes you got to push it all the way out. Get this to go. If all goes well, just gently slide everything in. I get to a certain point and drop it in to help line things up. And look at that. Boy, that was almost too easy. It was scary. The silicone helps everything slide down into position. What I'll do is just gently put these down, turn the bolts down, draw them down even, making sure to push those side seals down. Snug them down one more time. I'm going to back them off. And do exactly what I did with the other mains. Snug, snug. Now for the last part of this rear main oil seal install, you'll see these two things. These are called the nails. These get pressed in to the side seals to force them out against the block. Just tap them down. As far as they can go, and that's it. Now you may see that as I tap that nail down and in, it pushed that seal down further. That's fine. This one stayed up a little bit, that's okay too. What I will end up doing is put a little silicone, a dab here and a dab there. Extra insurance, keep it from leaking. If you're a Ford guy, I bet you may have one or all these books on your shelf. These are old, I got these when I was a kid. They have some good information in them, but there's also some old information that you don't really use anymore. But all in all, these two books, or three books done by Tom Monroe did two. Steve Christ did the third one on the FE Ford engines, which I've used a lot. It's pretty worn out. They do give you all the torque specs, give you some engine assembly tips. Neat old books. Now we're ready to torque the mains. I like to start them out, take them all to 30. Then I'll turn it up to 60. Now I'll sneak up and we'll go 80. And the last step, take it right up to 100. Now I know I'm going to get questions in the comments from guys saying, why didn't you use the right stuff? There's a lot of guys out there who love the right stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's good. It's really good. The only problem that comes with that is when, should something happen, you have to disassemble it. That Wright stuff is brutal to get parts apart and to clean them up after it's done. But boy, it does seal. I found that I've never had to use that to get anything to seal. I'm just not a big fan of using Wright stuff. I found that the old Permatex RTV, I prefer the gray. It matches up nice when you're doing an aluminum intake on the front of an engine with that color that you really can blend it and you don't even see it in there. Or if it's an all black engine, I'll use the RTV black. Or if it's a blue engine, you can use the blue, but I probably won't use the blue. I'm not a fan of the blue. I don't know why, I just don't like it. But that's what I like to use. If you have something that you like to use, it's different than what I do, put it down in the comments. I'd like to hear. Maybe I could incorporate it into my next engine, or at least try it out and see if I like it. Thanks for watching part 1 of the engine assembly on the 445 FE 390 stroker. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.